All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about Google DeepMind's latest bombshell, an AI model they're calling Genie 3. And look, I know what you might be thinking. Another text-to-video generator, right? No, this is not that. This is something else entirely.
I think this quote just nails it right out of the gate. It's not about watching a video the AI made. It's about being able to control it, to play inside it, to feel like you're actually there. That's the huge promise of Genie 3.
Okay, so let's properly dive in. What is Genie 3? Well, Google DeepMind calls it the first real-time interactive general-purpose world model. Now that is a mouthful, I get it, but we're going to break down exactly what each of those words means and why it adds up to such a massive deal. This right here is the absolute heart of it. In the demos they've shown, we see somebody actually controlling a gorilla in a suit, or steering a mountain biker down a path, or even driving a jet ski on this crazy glowing river. Just think about that for a second. Every single one of those frames is being made up in real time based on what the user is doing. You're not a passive viewer, you are the player. So let's just run through the specs, the high-level capabilities. We're talking about generating several minutes of a fully interactive world. And it runs smoothly, at 720p. You can kick these worlds off with just a simple text prompt. And this is where it gets absolutely wild. You can add new events into the world on the fly, and somehow, through all of that, the physics actually hold together. So now, let's get to the part that makes this tech so fundamentally different from what we've seen before. It isn't just about painting pretty pixels that look good. It's about simulating a reality. And to really get that, we need to talk about this key term, world model. Okay, so a world model, unlike a normal video generator, it's not just copying and pasting images together. It's actually learning the underlying rules of a world. It's not just showing you a picture of a ball falling. It's building its own little internal concept of gravity, of momentum, of how things should behave. It gets cause and effect. And to really hammer this home, let's compare it side by side with Google's other big model, Veo. Veo makes these gorgeous but totally non-interactive video clips. You're just a viewer. Genie 3, on the other hand, creates a world you can control. You're the player, or maybe even the director. Veo understands physics so it can generate a realistic scene, but Genie simulates physics so it can react to you. It's really the difference between a movie and a video game.
It's a fair question, right? We see new AI models drop every week. So to really appreciate what's going on here, you have to see where it came from. Let's compare Genie 3 to its direct predecessor.
The progress is it's staggering. Seriously. Where the previous version, Genie 2, was all low-res and blurry, details like buttons on a wall would just mush together, Genie 3 is a crisp 720p where every single button is distinct. The older version could maybe give you 20 seconds of footage. This new one, we're talking multiple minutes. But here's my favorite example, because it says everything. In Genie 2, if you walked through a door, that was it. The world just stopped. With Genie 3, you walk through the door and there's an entire explorable world on the other side. That is a massive leap forward.
Okay, so it's super impressive tech, we get it. But what's it for? Why should we care? Well, it all points toward two huge world-changing promises. The first promise, this is the one that's easy to wrap your head around right now. It's a total revolution in how we create and even experience media. Just think about it for a second. A game developer could literally type out an idea for a world and then start playing in it moments later. A filmmaker could direct scenes in real time. But the thing that really breaks my brain is the promptable world events. You could be walking through a forest it created and just type, "A man in a chicken suit appears from the left." And poof, there he is. The creative sandbox is just endless. But as mind-blowing as all that is, there's a second promise here. One that's way, way bigger. Many of the top researchers believe that world models like Genie 3 are a critical stepping stone on the path to artificial general intelligence, to AGI. And don't just take my word for it, this is coming straight from the researchers at DeepMind. You know the big challenge with training embodied agents, think robots or an AI that has to move around in a space, is giving them a safe place to learn. The real world is slow, it's expensive, and frankly, it's dangerous for training an AI from scratch. So what if you could give them
infinite digital worlds to practice in first. And that's the whole idea. That's the secret sauce. Genie 3 can create a practically endless curriculum of rich, simulated environments for an AI to learn in. An AI agent can just be dropped inside one of these worlds to explore, to mess up, to learn, and to get better, all at a speed that's just impossible in our physical world. It's how an AI can finally learn through trial and error, like we do, but maybe millions of times faster. So, how in the world does it actually pull this off? How does it make these consistent, interactive worlds without just falling apart into a glitchy mess? Let's take a quick peek under the hood. Right, this is the million-dollar question. If you're exploring a world and you turn your back on a lake, when you turn back around a minute later, it needs to be the exact same lake. So how does the model manage that kind of consistency? And here's where it gets truly wild. The researchers didn't actually program this long-term memory into the model. They're saying it's an emergent capability, which means as they made the model bigger and fed it more data, this ability to stay consistent and remember things just appeared. It taught itself. So the mechanism that makes this possible is something called an autoregressive process. An easy way to think about it is like a kid throwing a ball. To guess where that ball is going to be next, you can't just look at where it was a split second ago. You have to remember the whole throw, the release, the arc, everything. That's what Genie is doing. It generates one frame, and then to create the next frame, it looks back at its memory of every single frame that came before. That's how it builds a coherent story of its own little world over time. Okay, so as absolutely mind-blowing as this all is, it's important to keep our feet on the ground. Genie 3 is still a research project, which means it definitely has its limits. Right now, you can only play in these worlds for a few minutes. Getting multiple characters or agents to interact in complex ways, that's still really hard. Also, these worlds are totally silent. There's no sound yet. And of course, the biggest limitation for all of us is you can't get it. It's still an internal research project at Google.
But I want to leave you with this really powerful quote from DeepMind's Jack Parker-Holder. He talks about Move 37. That was the legendary, completely unexpected move that AlphaGo made against Lee Sedol, the one that showed AI could think in ways we'd never imagined. He's saying that for these embodied AIs, for robots, we haven't had that Move 37 moment yet. But with a tool like Genie 3, we might be on the verge of making it happen.
So in the end, we're left with this huge question. Is Genie 3 just the future of video games and movies? Or is that amazing creative ability just a really cool side effect of its real purpose, to be the training ground where we finally build artificial general intelligence? The incredible thing is, the answer might just be both. That's it for this explainer. Thanks for tuning in.